I'm a healer, but written by Yellowleader on AO3, read by Heo Stories. Chapter 17. Warning, this chapter contains George being tortured. That part is at the beginning of the chapter, so trigger warning for that. The summary will be placed right after the triggering part. And with the first part, I mean like the first 7, 8, but at the end there's a really wholesome bit, so you could skip to there, listen to the wholesome bit, and then listen to the summary. It shouldn't be too confusing. As usual, look at the timestamps. Volvo gasps and screeches in pain as the withering kicks in. The most emotional techno I've ever heard from him. Tommy just glares down at him, not a hint of regret or empathy in his eyes. It sounds like he never got that from Volvo either, so Techno can't begrudge him on that. But he's fucking thrown. Tommy, that healer is torturing someone right in front of him with withering. One of the worst pains in existence. Oh god. Tommy's going to fit in the syndicate too well. Take that off him, Digna says, and when Tommy looks up at him, betrayed, he continues. The Widowrosen's aren't fatal because people physically can't hold onto them long enough to die from it. Leaving it on him will kill him, and we need the information. Oh. Tommy picks it up, returning it to his own head. Volvo is still writhing, tugging at the restraints as the withering slowly fades. He feels limp when it's over, gasping for air. Good, Dignam murmurs, and Tommy turns his head to the side. Not fast enough for Techno to miss the way he smiles at the praise. Now, Volvo. His full name is George Law, Tommy tells him, leaning on the back of Volvo's chair. Volvo leans away from him desperately, almost falling off the chair in the process. Techno hums. That could be useful if they ever ran into him again after this. He promised Ace he wouldn't kill him in the interrogation, but no promises for later. Volvo will suffer for his bystander apathy. Thank you, Theseus. George Law. What do you know about Dream stealing Schlatt's belongings? He's still catching his breath, so Techno gives him a few moments before he gestures for Tommy to bring the crown down again. As soon as he realizes Volvo twists around to try and avoid it touching him. Wait, no, I know, he just showed up at home with a ton of shit one day. Tommy huffs and twirls the flower crown in his hand. Your house, right? Yeah, Volvo confirms with a fast nod. He he wanted to store it with some of his other stuff. The only thing he took with him to the headquarters was that book. The book, Digno says. The same one that mentions resurrection. Surprisingly, that makes both of them tense up. Tommy, he understands. He maybe shouldn't have brought it up so flippantly when Dream threatened to kill him and bring him back with it. But 4-4? Yeah, 4-4 says weakly. That's the one. He loved that stupid book, Tommy says, crossing his arms over the back of the chair. He read it all the time. I didn't think he could use it, though. Techno shrugs. Old magic is weird about who's capable of it. Despite his casual response to Tommy, he keeps watching 4-4. He looks pale as they keep talking, and Techno reaches out, removing his goggles. There's some drying blood on them, and removing them reveals trails of blood dripping from his head. Probably from the rose thorns. what was in that book, George. Just just revival different kinds, finding ghosts or bring back people. Fofo looks nauseous talking about it. Who did he bring back? Techno asks. Fofo doesn't answer, and after a long pause, Tommy doesn't wait for Techno's cue, dropping the crown back on his head. Fofo screams again, shaking his head desperately. The flower crown flies off his head, and out of pure instinct, Techno grabs it. He drops it instantly, of course, but the damage is done, and he tenses to avoid giving Fofo a similar reaction as his hands burn furiously. The sensation crawling up his arm, and his nerves scream in pain. Tommy rushes to his side, resting a hand over his, a new wither sprout as the pain quickly disappears. Fuck, sorry. I didn't think I'll put it on him harder next time, so it can't come off like that. It's fine. Techno reassures him. Stuff like that is a learning process. You should have seen mine few interrogations on my own. I ended up killing a few of them out of embarrassment. That gets a small laugh out of Tommy. Carl, I can't believe the blade is a huge dog that sucks at torture. Hey, it was millennia ago. Give me a break. I don't think I will, Blade. Theo, what the hell was wrong with you? Fofo gasps out, interrupting that nice moment. Tommy tenses his shoulders before turning to look at the victim. Fofo has finally fallen out of his chair, curled up on the ground, partially under the table. There's more blood dropping from his head, as well as pieces of blackened skin laying around him. What do you mean, what's wrong with me? Tommy snaps at him. You're a healer. You're not supposed to be. Fofo looks him over. Like this, you're like a sociopath or something. Yeah, and heroes aren't supposed to beat the shit out of their healers, but hey, look at my fucking childhood. Theseus. Tom's angry look fades as he looks over at Techno. Try to not let him rile you up. You have the power in this situation. Letting him get at you is giving up some of that power. Tommy frowns, but gives a little nod and scoops up the wither crown from the ground. Let's give that a rest. I still haven't learned anything Ace is going to want. Techno steps over to Volvo, carefully, not careful, as he steps on Volvo's leg. Volvo yelps when he puts his weight on it. Not quite hard enough to break bone yet, but enough to hurt. He yanks on his leg, trying to free it, but Techno doesn't let him, stepping harder. George Law, he growls. Who did Dream bring back from the dead? Me, obviously! It's clearly the truth, but it's not enough information, and he doesn't lighten his weight. Length 4 was like bent awkwardly underneath him. I Warden stabbed me a few days a few weeks ago. Drink. I bled out and he brought me back. What's it like? Tommy asks, his voice oddly innocent, a little weak, worried. Dream had described it as a personal hell. Something Tommy could have dealt with. Something he may deal with one day. It Fulford takes a quick breath. It it was bad. Alone, I felt like I was dying over and over again. So I had to fight to get away from the pain, but it was endless. I couldn't even just let it take me because giving up made the pain worse, and it was. He swallows. It was Dream's fault. Techno snorts. What? You had an imaginary dream torturing you for squirms, trying to get out from under Techno, and he lets him. Small gesture to make him more talkative. No, no, I mean, someone. I was told that if he didn't resurrect me, I would have, I would have actually moved on to a better afterlife. But because Dream, because Dream brought me back, I went through hell for I don't know how long days. He tries to pull himself to sit up, but Tango kicks him back down. He's not being that kind. What else did Dream leave over you? I I don't know. Techno holds his knife a little more aggressively, reminding 4-4 of its existence. No books, a bottle collection, some weird ender necklace, and he gave me some jewelry. Jewelry? Not magic or anything. I mean, some valuable stuff. Start had, I think, gold armband and necklaces, a bunch of useless pretty shit. Just like you. Tommy snorts and 4-4 groans. This is why no one likes you, Theo. Techno flips the knife in his hand, bringing it down in one smooth motion and plunging it deep into 4-4's shoulder. Before he can even scream, he twists it, severing more nerves and rendering that arm unusable. Unless Tommy chooses to fix it, which Tommy doesn't have to do. It's entirely his choice. When the scream trails off, taken over by pained sobs, Techno speaks of. You don't speak for everyone, for. He doesn't respond, still gasping to breathe through the pain, but Tommy looks surprised, then pleased though. He tries to hide it. Just an employee, Techno reminds himself idly. One who's eager to learn and responds well to positive feedback. Just an employee. Will need an address to pick up those things. Lol. Techno tells him. Fulful shudders, then yelps at how the movement twists its shoulder. I'm not telling you where I live. If you tell us, you can always move. Techno points out the obvious. But if you don't tell us, you'll die. And we'll find it anyway, because we have your name. Sounds like a pretty obvious choice to me. When Volvo continues to hesitate, he continues, You know, you might bleed out either way from this, he says, tapping his shoulder and ignoring how Volvo screeches at it. But the sooner you say, the sooner you can get out of here. So it, it's 44 Amanita Street in the Greater Amsterdam. Oh, Tommy stops himself for a moment, but continues anyway. On my disc there too. The finales. How had he forgotten that Tommy said 4-4 could have had them? He wants those far more than he wants any of Slad's things. If this could kill two birds with one stone. But 4-4 shaking his head as much as he can without exacerbating his injury. No, it's Pandas has them. Another hero to hunt down. But Techno may as well finish the trio then. Maybe it could be Tommy's next lesson. From the way he looks angry at the information, he assumes Pandas was equally terrible to him. We'll get them, he tells Tommy, who just crosses his arms with a huff. Is that all? Fofo asks, almost hopeful. Uh, Techno tosses out. It's time. Then Theo, my shoulder? Hold it. Techno says sharply though. Tom is already reaching out to Fulful. Theseus, you don't have to heal him if you don't want. Ace can get someone to give him normal stitches. He wouldn't be able to use that arm without a lot of physical therapy, if ever, but he wouldn't die. Probably. Tommy pauses, looking between them. Fulful has the sense not to demand help, though he clearly wants to, and Tommy huffs before kneeling down and resting a hand on his arm. Only because I want to know how hard it is to fix, he mutters. It takes a minute, but Fulful's shoulder sews itself back together. Techno nods in approval when it's done. Leave me. We have to go let Ace know. Tommy follows him out of the door. As soon as they've left Fulful behind, he's grinning, happy in a way that Techno feels he hasn't seen in years. That was good, big man. Huh? He didn't expect any of that from the healer, but it's good. The healer can be just as cruel as them. You did well. I know, Tommy says smugly. Don't tell Phil I let you do that. Bribe me. Techno sighs. Uh, there's a water ice place nearby. What? Why water ice? Because you haven't eaten in days and I'm not getting you ice cream so you can throw up in the car. Tommy crumbles, but he seems to accept the deal. And Techno leads the way as soon as he's debriefed Ace and promised to speak to him later about secretly inviting a child to join in on an interrogation. It's probably a ridiculous sight. The blade buying water ice for himself and a random child, but the cashier cleverly treats them normally, other than giving them more than what they paid for. Tommy snatches it out of Techno's hands. Thanks, Blade. You, He starts leading the way back to the car. You can call me by my name, by the way. I mean, not right now in public, but in general. Tommy eyes him warily. Why? It's gonna get annoying to hear my alias even when I'm just relaxing at home. Plus, I don't like being the old one out. And you've been calling everyone else by the name, so. Yeah, sure. Tommy suddenly chokes, almost dropping his water ice, but Techno shoots a hand out to catch it. Fuck, brain freeze. He hisses in pain. Can't heal that, huh? Tommy tears up. What's the fucking point of having healing powers if I can't heal this? Just stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth, Techno tells him calmly. It'll stop sooner. Tommy can be so overdramatic, just like a little brother. Wait, no, he meant just like his little brother, like Wilbur. Tommy is just an employee, not like a brother, just someone who works from there. That's all. Was I put on this earth just to suffer? Tommy wails as he continues to be plagued by brain freeze. Techno can't help but wonder the same thing. The summary. George is horribly hurt by the withering crown, and Techno is shocked that Tommy would use it, but he begins guiding Tommy through torturing George while questioning him. Dream apparently stored some of Schlett's missing belongings in George's house, including the revival book. Dream has used the book to bring George back from the dead. Techno told Tommy that he didn't have to heal George, but he did anyway, and they leave to get water ice.